Good morning, students. Today we will be discussing about UNIO, which is also known as freshwater mussel. This is the picture of UNIO. UNIO lives almost completely buried in sand or muddy bottom and feeds upon microorganisms and organic matter filtered from a current of water drawn into the body. Sometimes it moves very slowly by means of its foot. With the slightest disturbance, it stops moving and appears lifeless like a stone. Myself, Dr. Balram Sai, Assistant Professor in Zoology, Government Dungar College, Bikaner. UNIO. First, we will talk about its systematic position. Phylum Mollusca, Class Pelcipoda, Order Eulambibranchiata, Genus Unio. Habit and habitat of Unio. Unio is found in freshwater ponds, lakes, streams, and rivers. The animal is sedentary but flows slowly through the mud or sand by its wedge-shaped muscular foot at the bottom of the pond or river. It does not go deep in the burrow because the posterior extremities of the valve remain exposed for the ingress and egress of respiratory water current. Unio usually stays in shallow water during night but migrates to deeper water during daytime. The food of Unio comprises microscopic organisms, both plants and animals, which are fed upon by filter feeding mechanism. If we talk about the external features of Unio, first subheading is the shape and size. The body of Unio is laterally flattened. The anterior side of the body is roughly oval in outline and the posterior end is slightly narrower. Unio has a bilaterally symmetrical body. The size varies from 5 to 10 cm in length. If we talk about this cell, the soft body of Unio is completely enclosed by a hard calcareous cell as shown in the picture. This is the hard calcareous cell. Cell is composed of two symmetrical and equal halves called valves and known as right and left valves. The two valves are united by a dorsal elastic band called a hinge ligament, which is continuous with the two cell wall but is made up of uncalcified conchiolin, which is elastic and causes the walls of the cell to open. These are the hinge ligaments and these are the lines of growth. As you can see clearly in the picture, these are the lines of growth. Near the hinge ligament are teeth and sockets which fit into each other to form an efficient interlocking arrangement to prevent a fore and aft displacement of the two cell walls. At the anterior end of the hinge ligament, on each side is a swelling called umbo, which is the oldest part of the cell and is first formed in a young animal. So, from the picture, it is clear this is the anterior part and this is the posterior part. At the anterior end of the hinge ligament, a swelling, as shown clearly in the picture, is the umbo, which is the oldest part of the cell and is first formed in young animal. In most Pelcipoda, the two cell valves are similar and equal in size, but in some sessile families, such as oysters, the upper or left valve is always larger than right valve by which animal is attached. And below the umbo are the concentric lines of growth as shown in the picture. These are the concentric lines of growth, and the cell walls are rounded anteriorly but somewhat pointed posteriorly. The umbo is directed anteriorly, making it possible to determine the right and left cell walls of the animal. If a cell valve is removed from the mental lobes, its inner surface is seen, which shows the marks of insertion of muscles running transversely between the two valves. The insertion of the edge of the mental marks a pallial line. This is the pallial line, which is clear from the picture. Anteriorly is an impression of anterior adductor muscle. Here you can see from the picture, this is the scar of anterior adductor muscle, and this is the scar of the posterior adductor muscle. Posteriorly is a large impression of a posterior adductor muscle, which we have discussed. Close to these impressions are marks of an anterior retractor muscle and posterior retractor muscle. Here you can see the scar of anterior retractor muscle and the scar of posterior retractor muscle. Near the anterior adductor is also an impression of a protractor muscle. Here you can see the scar of anterior protractor muscle and the scar of posterior retractor muscle. This is the hinge line and this is the umbo, which is the oldest part of the cell. The adductor muscles close the cell walls tightly by pulling them together, whereas the retractor muscles pull in the foot and the protractor pushes out the foot. These are the functions of the different adductor muscles and retractor muscles. The hinge ligaments act antagonistically to the adductor muscles and cause the cell walls to open when the adductors relax. Primitively, the two adductor muscles are equal in size. From the picture you can see the anterior scar of posterior adductor muscle and scar of anterior adductor muscle. These are almost equal in size, but in certain families, the anterior adductor becomes reduced, and in oysters and scallops, it disappears completely. Then the posterior adductor moves to the center of the cell walls. Here, one thing is important: all muscles are unstripped, they gradually shift with the growth of the animal. Their faint lines may be traced to the umbo. That's all in today's lecture, and in the upcoming lectures we will discuss more about the unio, the freshwater muscle. Thanks a lot.